Hello and welcome to Stars in the Dark session 17. And who knows how many more sessions there'll be. We'll have to talk a bit about that because things are getting dangerous. Yeah, if this is the first video you watch, start at the beginning or nothing will make sense and you'll just be confused, probably. I think since Kai wasn't here last session, we'll do a quick round of recaps, what your characters got up to, and then I'll brief you on some general stuff that's going on. So I'll just go in the order on the screen, and that means Rich goes first.
Hi. I'm not doing character intro because we're 17 in. We're just doing what happened last time.
Yeah.
These are things that I am sharing. Rich, am sharing with Kai. Edema went in, participated in her vice of pleasure and went to see that Zabrak, sex worker. But there was like no emotion, just need to blow off some steam. Yep.
Oh, okay. Good.
Yep.
Good.
There we go.
What happened to your electric boxing? Don't do that anymore.
Oh, you know, she could have done that. We tried. Actually, Bade took her along and we ended up getting in some trouble. So she's like,
trouble.
Oh. Yeah. There's a capital T. You know.
It sounds like you're keeping things from me here.
You think so? I don't know about that. That doesn't seem accurate. That seems okay. Maybe she's keeping some stuff. Yeah, they did literally try to go, although she was planning on not going. They pulled her along. They got into some mess and then took off. So
yeah, but there was no violence, I think. It was just they ran into an old friend from a previous game. Former drug lord turned I don't know what you call it, not manager, but like.
Oh God, that was so good. Maybe Steven should tell us that one.
Yeah, so we pulled in a character that we had from a previous Hut Cartel game, who the last time we saw, he was in the gutter, like bleeding and like, you know, was basically a beggar at that point. And when they walked in, Etema was one of his underlings. And when they walked into the shockboxing place, Jaldar, who's now going by Lexburn Holst, which is in the NPCs tab, was like kind of he's running the fights there, and they kind of had this eye contact and then said, "Hey, let's get out of here," and that was about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Good stuff.
And then we went to a diner, and we met up with what's her name, the shockboxing friend that you had.
Oh, the Beast, Betty the Beast.
Betty. We met up with Betty, and we met up with Betty at the boxing place, and we went to this diner, and then some bad shit went down, like a big fight.
Right. So I had to go.
With street security.
Yeah. Street Sec had been looking for Betty for questioning, since they're looking for people who are in your general orbit, but she did avoided them. It was all fine, and then they showed up at Intergalactic House of Flat Cakes, and there were some murders that happened.
Murders?
Yeah, just for
accidental deaths of an officer. Yes.
Make it sound so much worse than it is. Those guys had it coming.
Yeah, those weren't murders. They were
We didn't kill
murders.
any people.
No real people, just cops.
Yeah. And what did Boko get up to?
So there were some murders. Boko. So I talked with Celine a little bit. Called her on a non-private line and detailed all the things that had gone wrong for her and agreed to meet later. Boko owed Edema a favor So I found I used my tracking skills to track down the hop that Bria had gotten the plans or the schematics or whatever for the transport from, and
I think it was the guy who had the schematics you used for the sewer fight,
the sewer fight. Yeah.
the one you seduced.
Yeah. And ambushed him and slit his throat. Took his ID back to Edema as a present, and used his phone to call Celine, and then left it on his body. Oh, and Morn and I also had a little vacation to the docks where we cloned the signature of the artifact and then reached out and force teased the Inquisitor. And put the signature on a ship and let them chase it. So knocked off a couple ticks off of that clock. That was good. Yeah, a little bit of murder.
This is one of those episodes where like Netflix skipped the intro, but you really need to rewind and watch the intro and be like, what happened?
Yeah.
Okay.
And, Steven, did Bade get up to anything else?
So I remember the big fight that we had at IHOF, and that was primarily it.
That was your mission, to fight someone in IHOF?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
The mission was that they try to get, or the goal was to get the intimidated locals. You should actually have that one now. The intimidated locals holding on the turf and stuff.
Oh, right, turf.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what we ended up doing for that was we went around. Bade went around and like talked up how badass the group was, and they did favors, and it was like, we knocked off a robber, if I recall correctly. We stopped a robbery and then gave the money back, which hurt really badly, and things like that. And of course, Etema and what's the name? Oko, like, knocked people around and showed protection and that kind of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. They kicked the butts of some rancors, the street gang who was hanging around there. And
The people, not the creature.
Yeah.
Hashtag not actual rancors.
Yeah,
And by stop the robbery, like
I was like, whoa.
No,
by
actual
stop the
rancors
robbery,
were
I think we just like
injured
took out
in the
half a dozen of them.
in the episode. But the fallout was that the Blue Brigade, whom you had some minor interactions with before, they realized that, hang on, this should be our territory. Hand it over, or we go to war. And since you're already at war with the garrison and the street sect, that may be something to worry about. Yeah, so some things happened. Was supposed to be a quiet episode, and it was not that. Yeah.
A long list of jobs available to us. Good gracious.
Yeah, I've added some stuff just to open things up a bit. I should cross out the intimidated locals since you've actually done that one. Yeah, so what I think we should do is that Kai, you should get to do Bria's downtime activities for the downtime from last episode. And then I'll do some intro stuff for this episode, and then we'll start a new downtime cycle. But we should have the discussion about what happens if things go really, really bad, which there is a risk for. So what does Bria want to do?
Okay, so I'm only one tick away from getting a special ability. and there's a particular special ability that I want to get, but I think story-wise, it involves me finding my new vendor for tweaking my implants, like some, overclocking me, I guess, but just like keeping me at prime levels and stuff like that.
Fine tuning.
Yeah, fine tuning. Thank you. Continuing to fine tune myself so that with my fear of the assassin. And what I was going to take was the reflexes one that says, whenever there's a question about who goes first, it's you. That's what I was going to take. So I don't have anybody in mind. Like, I guess I could make them up now if we want to do that, or we can save that. But I've got two. I've got 4 downtime actions. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, let's do the 2 from the previous downtime now and do them fairly quickly, and then we can.
Okay. So I got hit by a blaster, level 1 harm. So I guess I'll go to Morn to try to get rid of that. What are the healing rules again? I have no idea.
The healer rolls, or the medic rolls, makes a roll.
Okay.
Tinker for a PC with a medic ability. I think Morn's character sheet should be here somewhere. I've hidden it. Bring it up. Morn has 2 ticks and tinker, so 2 dice. To check the thing.
Do you mean to roll?
Yeah, please. I don't have the roll.
You got a 6 and a 1.
So a 6 gives you 3 ticks, I think.
Okay.
You can pay a credit. Yeah, 6 is 3 ticks. You can pay 1 credit to boost it to a critical, which would give you 5 ticks, which means you'd be fine.
Okay. I will spend that. And then I will get that tick and get my special ability of reflexes, and then we can move on.
Yeah. So some status changes. You've lost 1 with the rankers because you beat them up a bit. You've gained 1 with the wreckers because A, they don't like the rankers, and B, they like people who blow stuff up, which is what you've been doing. So they kind of like you. But that's all the status changes. I'll go through the clocks, which are on the events tab. I put, you removed some ticks from Anathem's hunt. I've added 1 back because that's what happens. Karnok, the assassin, is looking for Boko's contacts. For some of these, I made rolls. Some of them I just put a tick. For her, I made a roll. She rolled a crit, so she got 3 ticks on that clock. She's been chewing through Boko's known associates. The garrison scouts got a tick, and Street Sec, they got a tick, which filled out their clock for basically interrogating, questioning your associates as the whole crew. They started a new clock, which is analyzing the information they gathered from that. And there's going to be some further developments on that. Before we continue, I think we should do a quick discussion on the situation you're in. Because you're currently at war with the garrison and Street Sec. They're both tier 4 factions, which is scary because they have access to high-grade equipment. It also means that there's a lot of them, and they so that's dangerous. If they find your lair, you won't be able to hold out. I mean, in a stand-up fight, they're going to kill you. or capture you if that's how things play out. But if you fight to the death, you will to the death and you will die, and that's maybe interesting, maybe not. That's a thing that could happen. So what I think we need to talk about is what happens if your crew is like no longer viable, basically. If one or two PCs die, if you lose most of your gang, if you can't stay at your hideout, then you're kind of finished as the crew you currently are. We can handle that in some different ways. You could relocate either within this part of 1313 or to some other part of 1313. You'll probably start over at like tier 1, maybe tier 0 if you're really wiped out. But we could continue playing the same way. If you weather this without taking super heavy losses, then maybe you can continue basically where you are. But there is, I think we should consider the option that you take a really bad hit. Maybe you need to start over from a more base level than where you are now. I don't mean that we'll just blank everything and start from 0, but we'll need to consider how much you can bring with you, basically. So that's one thing. Another thing could be that we import the characters into a different game and play the same characters, but they're in such a different situation that it doesn't make sense to play Blades. We play something else, or we find some other way to handle it. But I think we should be open to those options. I feel like the situation you run into is, I don't feel like it's an unreasonable result as the game is designed, because you have been pushing pretty hard at some dangerous factions. You've been going after the Imperials. The Imperials are dangerous, and you haven't done a lot to mitigate the dangers. You haven't spent a lot of time reducing your heat. You haven't worried about your wanted level. And you've basically been, let's just go harder, that sort of thing. And here near the end, it's been kind of situational, because you wanted to rescue Tiri, you wanted to rescue Maxa, but that has the trade-off that you haven't really handled your own situation. While it is a very dangerous situation you're in, I don't feel like it's unfair, if that makes sense. It is a natural consequence of how the rules are constructed, and I feel like it fits with how you've been acting in the fiction. Now, whether that has been clear it wasn't clear to me as a GM that this was what would happen. And it probably wasn't clear to you as players either that it would get this really dangerous, but that's now this is where we are. I'm not pushing for a situation where things just go completely out of control and you get killed or whatever. That's not an interesting thing to play out, unless that's what we really want to do. But it's not what I'm pushing for. But I think we also have to be true to the fiction that we've established. That you have been pushing really hard at these dangerous factions, and you haven't done a lot to mitigate that. So whatever solution we find, I want it to be true to what's already happened and how the world works, basically. So that's my take on the whole thing. But I'd be happy to take any comments or thoughts you have on where we are.
Yeah, I was like looking at our stuff, like we definitely need to concentrate on handling some of the consequences, because we have just been rolling forward full steam, which has been fun, but also leaves leaves a trail behind. So yeah, definitely seeing if we can take care of stuff, and if not, seeing what happens.
We could set up a mission specifically to see about reducing our heat or our wanted level or something like that. Mechanically, my understanding is the only way wanted level reduces is if someone's arrested. Is that right?
Convicted, even if someone's convicted for your crimes. And currently at wanted level 4, that's a life sentence. That character is going away forever unless you can spring them or something. Now, that doesn't have to be a player character. It can be someone else, but it has to be someone who you can plausibly blame.
Yeah, I have an idea.
And then the other issue is the heat level. Do we need to see about getting that heat level down as well?
Heat level, yeah, that would help, but I don't think that's your most important issue right now. You can take a downtime activity to reduce heat. There is one specifically for that.
So the most important thing then is to reduce the wanted level, or is it to change the warring status?
Yeah, the war status, I would say. Wanted level, I mean, it's kind of the combination of those two right now, because you're at war with two very dangerous factions. You need to handle that in some way. But then I think you also need to look at your wanted level, because that in combination with the fact that you have provoked these dangerous factions means that you have a hard time getting help from anyone else. Because right now, you're basically, I mean, you're like the Red Army faction in the 70s. You're blowing things up, you're robbing people, you don't really care, who knows. It's kind of that sort of thing.
I don't know if we're playing the right version, but certain versions of Blades have a glitch where if we make the things even worse, go down to -4, it actually rolls up to the top to 3. So we just need to be even more aggressive with all right, never mind.
Guy, other than the joke, you've been pretty quiet. Where's your head? Like, what are your thoughts around the options the Undish has shared? Like, to me, I've ported Edema from one game to another, so I of course have no problem doing that. My preference is to stay within Stars in the Dark personally.
I'd certainly be up for relocating and starting over as a group. I think that's also an interesting story.
Does that include system? Changing the system?
Oh well, so I'm staying within Blades, like moving someplace else and starting.
It's a new crew.
Well, no. I mean, like us going to some other nasty part.
My brain has trouble remembering multiple options. Can we like drop into the character keeper to list out what our options are, just so it'll help me personally? Do we want to stick that in events or current job or something? We could just itemize like what are the options.
That'd be nice. Let's do some itemization.
It really helps me, so I appreciate you guys.
But what I was saying, Stephen, was like the gang, drops everything and finds a completely new place to be.
Yeah.
Where, they don't know us, but we can start over. That's how, if we were going to stay in the system, I'd be up for that. I would be up for that if that were the option we chose.
And then just so I'm clear, so I understand the scope of move, still in 1313 or move off the level entirely, because it is street sec and the garrison, like they're all in 1313, but so
Yeah, but the I think the ones you are in fight with are the ones that are in this like sector of 1313, because 1313, I mean, that's the whole planet basically.
Right.
So there's plenty of room to be on 1313. I mean, if you move 20 miles from this this part of 1313, it'll still be on 1313, but it will be a completely different environment.
Right, like we're in New York and we move from Brooklyn to like another borough or something. Okay, gotcha.
Jersey.
Or I mean, you could move to a different level.
I don't want to. I just want to make sure that I understood that within the. I like our map.
Yeah. I do have a solution that would allow us to stay where we are, but I don't know how we would pull it off. I'm pretty certain that all of our warring factions, Street Sec and the Imperial Garrison, would not care about us anymore if, say, some of 1312 fell into 1313, causing massive destruction. So, you know, we could buy some time with that. I just don't know how we pull that off.
So I have a couple of options that we could also toss out. One would be the obvious thing usually to me is to, you know, have an uprising. So we could talk to the rebels and the Thousand Knives and other groups that we're good with and form a big group to go directly against them. That would be a huge fight. We would probably lose, but I'm okay rolling up a new character. I've only played Bade for like, you know, a few sessions. The second option would be to change who they're mad at, but I think we've been so public, you know, I think it would be hard to bait and switch. A third option would be to corrupt them. So basically pay them off. And I just had an idea. I'll just toss it out there, just brainstorming some stuff. Could we pay them off with the artifact?
That's one of the things I was thinking about. Like,
oh, were you?
If we hand over the artifact to whether it's, you know, the Garrison or Street Sec or the Inquisitor, whoever, that's a big thing, and that should do something. I was also considering like who can we send to jail, and the worst thing I was thinking of, like, oh, maybe we could like get Celine in and then immediately turn her over.
Well,
but we'll see how
a
that
big
goes.
person, just to be, you know, really mean about it, we could
or Maxa.
Maxa or Terry basically could go to jail for life or be executed publicly. And of course the imps would blame all of that on the rebels. You know, the rebels are the ones who are causing the problem.
Wow.
Yeah, that's definitely an option. Paying them off, yeah, I think the artifact is the big bargaining chip you have. So that I think that would work better on the Garrison than Street Sec, because the Garrison there, they have the resources to kind of use that for either for some military purpose or as a trading chip. While Street Sec, they wouldn't know what to do with it.
They'd put it in evidence.
Yeah, which is where it was actually.
Yeah.
The Maxa that was Maxa what Maxa grabbed when you blew up the Street Sec station in one of the early sessions. So yeah, that's definitely an option. That would resolve that could take care of the Garrison. You'd still have to deal with Street Sec, but when it's just one faction, then it's more doable to handle it. So that's one thing. Just sending someone to jail, that could mitigate things a bit. Maybe it could get Street Sec down from a war footing if it means it also looks like you've been defeated.
You gotta lay low.
Right.
Basically, no more hits on them as ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Makes sense.
at least for a while. But then you still have to. I mean, so if you do both those things, then yeah, maybe you're out of the immediate immediate danger. The risk with giving up Celine is that she will just turn on you immediately.
Yeah.
She'll just roll over and no, it's Boko. I know where he is. Yeah, let me tell you where to find him. And
I wouldn't blame her if she did.
Yeah,
yeah,
totally reasonable.
I mean, if you want someone to, it has to either be someone you can believably blame and who doesn't know enough that they can give you up, or it's someone who is loyal enough to sit out a life sentence.
It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Yanush, got it.
At this point, I don't think he's loyal enough. Actually, he's not that happy with you.
Well, just as, kind of as a newcomer, what I've seen is people who we interact with a lot would be the rebels, and that would hurt. The Hut, Skirbo, someone important from Skirbo's group.
Yeah, you haven't interacted with them a lot. You're not really in with them. Skirbo is slightly favorable to you because you've been mean to the garrison and some people he doesn't like, basically. And same with the Hut.
Honestly, I think Maxa is probably our best bet there, which is super scummy, but we're not good guys.
Yeah, I mean, she doesn't have to know that it was you, but and since she's been your patron for a while, so you've basically been a subsidiary rebel cell. But yeah, it's a scummy move, definitely.
What if
you do it intentionally?
What if that's actually how we move up? So basically, we take over the rebel faction.
Ooh.
By getting rid of Maxa. I mean, that's how gangs move up. And you know.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. Oh my god.
Yeah, that could work, absolutely. You'd have to do it in a way that the other rebels don't know that that's what happened, because they would not be okay with it. Maxa is very popular. She's a popular leader. Maybe Tor would back you up on it. Tor Bracken, the leader of the more regular rebel faction. If you, I think that would be contingent on you like pulling back from the extremist stuff, because that's what he doesn't like, and that's not really been your. I mean, you want to kill imps, and that's nice, but his thinking is more like, we want to take over the government, we don't want to upset too many people, blah blah blah, that sort of thing.
And I think if we did that, we would stop being our gang. We would then become the rebels, right? We would no longer be using our name and reputation.
Yeah.
And that's the kind of the same thing as starting over. It's just starting over in a better position.
Yeah.
Right.
Kind of, yeah. We'd probably have to make up a new crew type of some kind.
If our crew would be willing to stop killing imps, and I don't know that we are. I'm pretty obsessed with it. So
none of us are like aligned with the rebels. Like we're not with the Imperials.
Ekma is kind of, I think.
She can be convinced because but yes, she thinks she's a rebel. She thinks she's doing rebel stuff. But again, I, the player, am perfectly okay with what the group decides, and I kind of want to keep playing Edema right now, and I really want to keep playing with you guys. So I will angle things around to make it work.
What would Edema's view of turning Maxa in for advantage be?
You'd need to do it outside of Edema's knowledge. Like, I think Bria would know. Don't tell Edema we're doing this. Rich is 100% on board.
Yeah.
Edema should not know.
I mean, one solution could be that Bria and Boko realize that this is the way we get out of this.
Mhm.
We do it without telling anyone else. Nobody else knows about this. We cut the deal, and just nobody else knows.
How does Kai feel about that though?
Well, associated with that, so rarely do I get a full story in a campaign, right? And if we were just to bring our story to an end, that would be an accomplishment. It's something very rare I've never played 17 sessions that I can think of. Well, now I've played 17 sessions, but I didn't get to finish the story, right? Like the game fell apart. And we've managed to get adults together on Saturdays many, many times and make this thing happen. So that's just a thing. I would be happy if we just ended the story and then chose to do something else. In regards to Maxa, again, the implication is after we do this, we can't continue to do what we were doing. We would have to have a new MO. And I've been playing Bria pretty freaking obsessed with this. But maybe she snaps to reality as well. I mean, she can be pragmatic. Yes, Kai says that if that's the route we would go down, that Bria would do that. Yeah.
So I like the thing, Kai, that you brought up, that having a completed story would be good. That's one of the lessons I learned from the Gauntlet. Was I'd been playing in a long session and the game just seemed to drag out and it just didn't seem right. If now is a good break point, we could do something big like a war, or turning in Maxa, or becoming the rebel cell and kind of starting over. And that could be the end of this chapter, the end of this novel, right? And then we could restart, and basically still playing Stars in the Dark, still playing with the same thing, but anyone who wanted to could build a new character. We'd have I heard Rich say he would like to continue playing Ettima, so Ettima would continue on, for example, and anyone else who wanted to either take an NPC or create a new character could, and it would start a new novel, right? It would start a new story. How does that sound to everyone? For me, I just started, so I'm still enjoying this, but I understand everyone else, might need a completion and then maybe a refresh.
Yeah, I know Boko still has some more stuff to go through before the arc happens. But yeah.
Yeah, and just to build on that, I'm perfectly open to that. I want to keep playing with this group as long as everyone wants to. I like playing this game. So if we want to continue playing this game, then I am all for it. I'm definitely not pushing for switching systems. My preference would be to continue playing with this with this system. But if we end up in a situation where it makes more sense to switch to something else, I'm open to it. That's how I would put it, I think.
Okay, I think we're pretty aligned with this concept, though, of giving Maxa up and seeing what happens, or going to war with every gang that we can get going with us.
Yeah, because and I think I want to push Rich to talk a bit more just in a moment, but I think the idea of like completing this story arc and then finding a way to continue in perhaps a slightly different direction, bringing over any characters we want to bring over, maybe continuing in the same area or move or shifting the focus a bit to a different part. Either is fine. But I think, yeah, I'll stop there. Rich.
All of these are really interesting. Yeah. So I feel like sorry, this is terrible. I can go with just about anything. I hear what Kai is saying about bringing storylines to a close being a good thing, and I don't disagree. But I would really like to hear, like, what is Bria's storyline coming to a close? What does that look like? What is Boko's storyline coming to a close? What does that look like? Edema, Bade as well. Like, I would want to milestone those out, because it seems like we have the team, we have the talent. There's a Ghostbuster quote. I kind of love the idea of paying one group off with the artifact, a deal done, a dirty deal done to sell out the person that we just went, ham trying to save, and then Edema and Bria having to, like, you got to do either work smarter or stop going head on against imps the way you're doing it. That's interesting to me, because it feels like an evolution of the story we're telling, and it's a hard series of choices.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think long term, just from how the mechanics of the game is set up, you'll have to change your how your crew acts in some way, or you'll be back in the same situation 5-10 sessions down the line. Because you have been picking fights with dangerous factions, and you haven't done much to cover your tracks or keep a low profile, and that just from a purely mechanical perspective, that's going to land your crew in trouble. So,
and I've already thought of how Bria is going to evolve in this situation. She's like, I've got to stop going for short games and go for the long game. Right?
Be smart,
like,
be masterminds, that kind of thing.
Yeah, like, just be like, okay, we were children, we've done our childish things, let's move on and do, I could see that happening. I could definitely see that happening.
Yeah, and it could be that we, like, if the crew shifts the focus to a different type of job, like essentially switching what type of crew you are, because right now you're Bravos, which is like street fighters. Essentially, you are fighters, and before that you were assassins who were not too secretive about being assassins. You were subtle assassins. So you played with the crew you're currently playing as. Again, from a mechanical point, you are the war dogs. You're the ones who pick fights and make a big splash. And if you switch crews, you could probably work more jobs that are lower profile, or that allow you to keep a lower profile, but that would still mean, I think you'd have to also, as characters, try to be more subtle about what you're doing. Because you have, and this is, I think this is a natural effect of this being a Star Wars game, because it means we push the action a bit more, and that means higher profile, which means more heat, which means more wanted level. That's and I'm not sure if, I'm not sure where I was going with that, but I think if we continue to use the rules as they are, we could do modifications that allow for a more action-heavy game, to keep it feeling more Star Warsy, maybe. But that means we're moving into a bit iffier territory, because as Blades it is very polished. You know how everything works. If you start tinkering with it, you don't know what's going to happen. But on the other hand, if it's just minor changes about, you get this much heat for these sort of things, then I'm not worried about it. But it's something we need to be aware of that we're doing.
So to put it in the terms of Star Wars, from my perspective, I see that, you know, just like Kai said, you know, we were young and did youthful things, sort of like in Solo, whenever they're in a gang early on and we need to grow. So if we grow into the rebels, does that mean if we become a rebel faction, does that still is that still in line with Stars in the Dark? Because that's I'd like to stay with that system.
Hmm.
And if so, does that mean that we could change the crew from that to? I see that there's a cult and there's a hawkers. It seems like a lot of the crew groups inside of Stars and the inside of Blades are all your thieves, your assassins, your
Oh yeah, no, totally. You are bad
your
people.
drug dealers, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but in Rogue One, the touchstone that I use is Rogue One and Cassian, right?
Mhm.
You're bad people, right? But you did it for a cause. And is that kind of a cult? So that's what I see
yeah.
that's what I kind of see the transition as.
Yeah, there are some third-party crews that are I don't know what they're called, the Skovlanders, I think, are kind of the conquered people in the original Blade setting. There is some sort of Skovlander rebels type of faction. I've looked at it. I didn't think it was immediately translatable. It would need some work, but it's definitely possible to construct a crew that is more of a rebellion. I think the problem we run into is that unless we change other things, you will still get into these high-profile things, because what you'll be doing is probably fighting a lot of imps. The imps are dangerous. That sort of thing. You could go for, I mean, you could reorient yourselves more towards like doing sabotage and doing actual subtle assassinations instead of like shooting people down in the street. That sort of thing. That's a possible development that would allow you to continue in the general direction that you are, but that would give you a lower profile, less heat. You wouldn't get into this catastrophic situation as easily.
Is there a crew sheet that's more like espionage, like spies?
There is I think that's let me bring out all the crew sheets. I think the shadows is
Shadows is actually unhidden. Is
yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
because
it's
we were
already
looking at some special abilities there. The shadows, they are espionage, sabotage, or theft. That's their thing. So that would definitely be
So one of the things I do want to bring up, if we change crew sheets, you know, for me, I just started and it doesn't affect me much. But I know that over 16 sessions, players have worked really hard to advance the crew, and taking that away feels punitive. And that's something I'd like to make sure doesn't occur. So I want to check in and make sure if we end up changing crew sheets, that doesn't. What could we do to make that feel okay?
Yeah, we have switched crew sheets once, actually. They started out as assassins and they moved to Bravos. And the way that time we just brought everything over. We kept all the special abilities, all the advances, everything, and just moved to the new crew sheet. I think maybe moving to, if we were to make that kind of move again, maybe we would look at the special abilities and see, yeah, maybe this doesn't make sense anymore. Maybe we should switch this special ability for something else. But I wouldn't want to just start over with a blank sheet, because, like you say, that feels punitive and it feels unfair with the things you have worked for. And some of the things feel like they should stay with you. But maybe you don't keep all of your special abilities because some of them don't make sense anymore with the new situation, and maybe some are, yeah, I don't know. We'll have to look at them specifically, but does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. And I think that's fair.
Yeah, because one way, I mean, one way you could make that switch is to, I guess, take your own death as a crew. Like you go underground. Maybe you can sell the garrison and street sec on. You make some big explosion or something. They find some bodies that you have procured from somewhere, and oh, seems like they're all dead now. And then you start over in a more subtle capacity. That's a possible solution.
The season ending looks like we
Yeah.
died, and then they announce a second season, and the audience is like, "What?" And they're like, "We planned this all along." We're like, "Oh."
That's pretty exciting. I'm into that. And I think Edo will change tactics, but I don't think it's going to be easy on her. She's going to have to fight her instincts, and she has that whole reckless thing. So are you guys okay with her struggling to be smart, be careful? Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And to be honest, I envision some really juicy role play opportunities with, trying to say, Etema, you can't just go kill a guy, right? We have to be a little bit more subtle this time, because otherwise it's going to bring the imps down even harder on us. Yeah.
Cool. This is exciting.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's all good.
So let's talk about this a little bit. Are we still talking about turning in Maxa?
I think that's fun.
Okay.
I think if we do Maxa and the artifact, it wraps up all of our stories that we've got.
Good.
And it kind of, allows us to get some breathing room and start over.
Okay. And then the only other question, it sounds like we are all on page to switch to a new crew sheet, right? But do we want to decide before we go into this, kind of finale scenario, what kind of crew we're going to be? Like, are we going to be a rebel crew, or are we going to change into something else? Or do we want to start that with this next season? Do we want to see what the show does? See, kind of.
Yeah, I'd like to role
The second
I
one,
like to
yeah.
role play it out.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And things may happen that make it be like, they give us obvious answers as to where to go next.
Great.
Cool.
Yeah.
So I figure I don't want to rush this ending. I figure we'll still have a few sessions, at least 2 or 3 sessions to wrap things up, maybe more depending on how things start out. So that we don't leave anything hanging, and we get to have some emotional closure, both as players with the things we've been doing, and as for the characters to wrap up the things that belong in this part of the story, I guess. Yeah. So we're coming up on the hour, so I think we should take a break. I'm going to now I'm going to break one of the rules and give you homework over the break. But I think I would like you to figure out the 2 most important things for the game moving forward, so that everyone is clear on what their priorities are for moving forward, and so that everyone knows what everyone thinks is most important. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
I'd like to clarify perspective. Is this meta for the players, what they want to see from the game, or is this what they want to see for their character?
For the players, for you as a player, what's most important to you? Whether that's closure for Bade, or what kind of crew you want to play as, or whatever. But just the most important thing within the general parameters we've discussed. And if you think of more than 2 things, then that are super important, then go ahead. But I think at least 2 things per person would be good. Yeah, so we're back again. I'll start with myself, actually, my priorities, and these are my references. It's not, yeah. I would like to keep playing with this system. I enjoy the system. I think that would be that's what makes the most sense to me, and I would like to have some continuity with what we're doing now, but with like I don't want anyone to feel forced into continue playing if they feel like no, Saturdays doesn't work for me anymore. I don't want anyone to feel an obligation to continue with the game, that sort of thing. And if you want to switch characters, obviously that's fine. I just want everyone to have the freedom to say that no, this is a good jumping off point for me, that sort of thing. Yeah, those are mine. So we'll let Rich think a bit more then. Start with someone else. Is someone?
Yeah, I can do. Yeah, I feel kind of the same. I'm really enjoying the system. I'm really enjoying like starting to reach out into new parts of it, like starting to do the turf stuff, starting to get a feel for like what the higher level stuff starts to feel like. And yeah, I would definitely enjoy the continuity and keeping going on. I actually kind of like the challenge of like being in trouble and seeing like what happens if we push a little bit too hard. That's just I think just me like liking getting into trouble. So but yeah, that's pretty much it. And just yeah, seeing where everyone's going. I feel like we've gotten a good foundation with everyone, and I'm curious to see where everyone goes.
Cool. Anyone else? Okay.
Yeah. So I answered the question in terms of like, what do I want to get done before we end the season? That's the question I thought I was being at, or the way I approached the question that was asked to me. And so I put it in
cool.
I put my answers in the current job tab. It's to the right under Steven stuff. I need to process for my character that the revenge that I want will simply create a cycle for my son. And then, so I need to work through getting out of this cycle of revenge. I need to deal with the marriage one way or the other. Either say I'm never going to get married or go ahead and get married. Like I want to wrap that storyline. And if we don't finish the assassin storyline, which I don't really want, I would like to see a progression. Like I want to see some story beat finished with that. Like they finally track us down, or they make their first strike, etc. But yeah, I'm good for Saturdays. I'm good for my character. I'm good for sticking around. But I'm really in love with the whole concept of just doing everything we can to survive, because that sounds like the characters we are.
Cool. Thank you. Stephen, you've made some notes here.
I did. So my most important things are sticking together as a group of players. I think that adds continuity. Of course, I think, like you said, Anders, if someone can't make it or this isn't right for them, open door. I'm a big fan of that. The second thing was I'd really like to continue playing the system. I'm getting the minor pieces underneath me, but and getting a good understanding of that. But I'd really like to see more of how the system interacts, and all the moving parts that kind of connect. And like Mark was saying, what happens whenever you let things go bad, and where does that lead the fiction? I'd kind of like to see how that all works mechanically and what the system kind of pushes you towards. In the long term, for Bade, I see her transitioning from being the pledge playbook to something else, but I'm not sure what that something else is, and it's not time yet. That's going to happen at some point. On the other hand, I put in, I don't have a strong preference for continuing to play Bade. I've had many characters die whenever the fiction needs it, and I'm like, oh yeah, this is the time for her to accidentally stumble into the assassin and get taken out, or whatever it is. And I also don't have a strong preference about what crew we're playing. just looking through the different lists, I looked at, okay, these guys are thieves, these guys are assassins, these guys are drug dealers, and I don't have a strong preference there. So I added on to the homework and said, this is what I don't care about. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's actually very good. I would like to add to that, but one thing I was thinking of during the break is that if we end up moving to a different area where we'd have different factions and that sort of thing, that's not a burden for me. I don't want you to feel like, no, we shouldn't do that because Anders gets to do a lot of work. It's not a big deal for me. I enjoy the all the NPCs we have and the webs of relationships. So I don't not want to stay with where we are. But if we end up that the natural progression is, or the desire is that no, we should move somewhere else, then that's fine. It's not a big deal for me to make up a new area for the crew to be established. Rich.
I have two. I want to play Stars in the Dark for at least another month. At least I want to get at least 10 plays out of this. Selfishly, it's important to me. Not really a wholesome reason, but I'm being honest here.
This is because of the contest you participate in. Yes.
The Ladder of Insanity. Yes. I want 10 plays. I already have 10 plays of Bounty of the Week, friends. So.
But you already have 10 plays of Stars in the Dark too, right?
No, not this year. It's an annual.
Oh, I see.
I only have 6 because we've only had 6 Saturdays. How
do you feel long term? Longer than
I'm loving it. I really like the idea of us digging into turf. Like that really interests me. But I also realize that maybe we aren't going to be able to get that right now, that we may have to take a step back, take a step forward. That's fine. Player wise, that's cool. I think one of Edema's like overarching storylines is like that peaks and then huge valleys, like Crash losing a lot. It just feels right for Edema. I'd like this is nested, like it's a second thing, but it's actually a bunch of little things. I'd like to see some plot lines come to an end, like Boko and Celine, Bria and her marriage, Bade evolving, like not just being the newbie, but like on equal footing. Adam and Bria's relationship, does it break? Do they come to some kind of new understanding? Those are the things that are most interesting to me, and things that I'd really like to play through, or at least talk through. Like we have to play moment for moment, but I kind of like to understand. So what happens? How's that go? I think those are my 2, but it's like 2A, 2B, 2, 3C.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it seems like I've asked everyone, right? Yeah. I stopped taking notes because I had put things in there, and now I'm confused. Yeah. Sorry. Blank. Mind part. Yeah. It seems like we're pretty much on the same page. Continue playing the system. Not necessarily starting over completely, but maybe shifting some things and making sure we get to have some story progression before we do any major shift. Does that make sense? Yeah, cool. Then I think we should stop wasting time on talking about things that's going to happen later and actually play a bit. I shouldn't say wasting time, because I think this was a necessary discussion to have, and I think I'm glad everyone's given good input. So, but I think we're ready to start the actual session, start playing. Cool. So Well, the first thing that's going to happen is Boko. You are, I think you're in the hideout, and you get a call on your personal comms from Celine.
Hey.
Hey, I don't have time to talk. I need to tell you that they're after me again. There's some nonsense. I think I have an alibi for it, but they're connecting me to some murder somewhere. I don't know what it is.
Who is? Street Sec?
My colleagues.
Oh.
And it's I have nothing to do with it. I don't know if you care, but that's not the important part. I overheard the new garrison liaison talking to the station commander, and they're setting up some task force. I don't know what they're doing, but they're pooling resources and they're gunning for you. They're coming after you hard, and I have to go. There's someone following me. I don't know who it is. It's someone good, but I need to keep
Why would you
moving.
tell me this? Why do you care?
You wanted me to set something up with the huts, right?
Right.
Yeah. If things continue like this, I'll have to reassess my career priorities.
That might be wise to start doing immediately.
Yeah. Anyway, I have to go. I don't know who it is who's after me. I don't think it's anyone from Street Sec. They're too good, but yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Do you know where Skirbo's casino is?
Yeah, I can't go there. They're
All right,
definitely
stay away from
watching
there
that.
then.
Yeah,
Cool.
unless you can meet me there with some. Do you have some muscle you could bring?
Not immediately, no.
Oh, okay. Useless as usual. I'll talk to you later.
Stay safe.
Yeah, and this revelation, this information that there are more. Sorry, I'm trying to do multiple things at once. I can do that. That they're pooling resources. This actually is putting 2 ticks on the garrison scout clock and the street sec clock, because they are working together. And they're sharing information, they're pooling their resources, they are close to finding it.
Cool. I will let the rest of the crew know that. It could be a trick. It probably isn't. Celine is in as much trouble as I ever was when I left. It sounds like Street Sec is like right up our ass. They are very close to pinning us down. Thoughts?
Do you think Tor and Maxa will help us up, help us out here? Either, both?
I don't know what Maxa could do. He's still in pretty rough shape, I think. Tor, your guess is as good as mine.
I assume we're like in the ship, our whole
Yeah.
kind of thing, and maybe a few NPCs are around, but it's mostly just the 4 of us in the lounge area, I guess.
Yeah.
Bria, what do you want to do?
Muted.
Which would be why you didn't respond when I was talking earlier. Gosh, guys. What she said was like, she was kind of pacing, and she's like, "This isn't good." And then Edema asks, and she says, "I want to live. This is not good."
Oh, don't worry about it. I mean, I'm sure with Etema, and we can get all of our friends together, and we can just take out all of the street set.
Do you know how many street sec officers there are out there, Bade?
Well,
It's
they're
like a
everywhere.
department. It's a lot.
You hear that,
I
Edema?
mean, it's not the rankers. It's
You're gonna take out the entire street sec for us?
I could get started.
Yeah, and then once you're done with that, then go with the Imperial Garrison. And
I get the garrison. Yeah, I take care of the Inquisitor while you're at it. Yeah.
I'll cook dinner, and you come back. We can.
Probably take more than one dinner, but I'll get
Well, if you insist, 2 dinners then. Oh God.
How attached to this particular place is everyone?
I mean, I like it, but it's a place. It's not you guys.
I just moved here, so yeah, I can put all my stuff in a little bag. Where are we going, boss?
Yeah, Boko looks around.
All right, everybody. We're gonna need to find, at minimum, a new place.
Question for Adish, I guess. Do we know that the Blue Brigade is possibly wanting to go to war with us or trying to get like has it been communicated
right.
to us like, hey, this is our territory?
Yeah, let's say that you've received a communication from them. We don't need to get into how, but their position is that you're intruding on our turf, back off, or we beat you down.
I think I'm making the proposal to folks that we send a message back and offer to act as their enforcers since we're already here. If they can set us up with a new place, a more secure location, or a different location, and maybe have them be our patron. And avoid going to war with them.
It's not a terrible idea.
I mean, I don't know those
Yeah.
guys from anyone else, but
The question is
Max
if
before a couple
they
of
are
years either.
willing to take you up on that with the situation you're currently in.
You are too hot to handle, idiots.
Maybe the offer is we take care of this area for you. You get to take whatever cut you want, and if we get wiped out, we get wiped out. But maybe this is a probationary period with them. I don't know. What's their
If I
health
might-
plan like?
If I might, and please, like, if this isn't cool, just let me know. But maybe like on a screen somewhere, like they've started putting up our faces. Like now we're scrolling across the news screen. It's like, these are the terrorists that we need to be looking for, because that would really hit Bria really hard.
Yeah.
Like,
Because your kid might see that if it's on the.
Yeah, I think you're definitely at the top of the most wanted list for street sec in this area. That's for sure. So yeah, there will probably be some screens with they're probably not great pictures. Let me figure out. Etema, they've I mean, Boko, we know they have on
Yeah.
on film, right? From when
They have me on file. Yeah.
Yeah, and from when you grab the artifact, I
Mhm.
mean, they've identified you, so they have like your photo from
Yeah, they got
your
my
old
college transcript.
street
Yeah, they
ID.
got everything.
Etema, I think you've been like front forward enough that they have good images of you. I think does that make sense, right?
Yeah, I think it makes sense.
Yeah, Bade probably isn't on this list because you're too new. And Bria, I don't
Oh.
think they have. I don't think they have your name, and I don't think they have good pictures of you because being stealthy is kind of your thing.
So what I was thinking was an artist rendition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was it you want to say, Steven?
Yeah, I was going to say, I think in one of the last jobs that we were all at, I got ID'd, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I
that's
think
true.
that they have an image of me, but it's from a few years ago. So whenever I was
Yeah.
much younger.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. You got picked up at some
Oh,
point.
that's
for
even
big
worse.
time.
They're like that these terrorists are recruiting children.
Oh,
Oh my
Oh.
goodness. Yeah, no, that's
Yeah, but I think Bade. I don't think Bade is like rolling on the big screens.
Right.
She's definitely on a list somewhere, and she will show up like
Yeah.
these are their known associates or something. But that's more for the internal, not for like public consumption.
This is looking bad. I mean, it's a bunch of imp files on us, so yay, we made them mad, but people who don't know what we're up to might look at this and think we're actually terrible.
I mean, we're not great. We're not the Empire, but
we are a
We're
product of the Empire. The Empire created us. Don't think that this is not their fault. Bria says so she doesn't have to take blame for anything.
yeah. I know that where I'm at, I did that. And I didn't have anything to do with the Empire until we started hitting them. It was just a job for me.
You were hired for a reason. And like she's walking all over the place. Her eyes are darting here and there.
Let's talk to Tor. See if Tor will back us, give us some way out. Maybe we just need to get off planet. Maybe we go join the rebellion, like straight up.
You can get off planet?
I don't know. I've never
Yeah.
been off planet, but maybe he's got connections.
Yeah, let's see if we can get off planet.
I can't leave. You can go, but
Nope.
I can't leave.
Well, if you're not going, I'm not going. Why would you go? Why can't you go?
I have family here. Like my only family here.
I've met your aunt. You can leave her and you can bring the rest of your family. Edema says, trying not to step on the thing that you don't seem to want anybody else to know about.
Right. Well, she's like, so she's so frustrated or out of her mind. Like she's like so discombobulated. That's the word I was looking for. Nice. She's like, don't bring my son into this. I can't leave. Tor, let's talk to Tor.
And just to be clear to Steven, no one's except Etima's known about Bria's son before.
Yeah,
and spanking information, brand new spanking, brand new info.
It's only taken us 17 sessions to reveal it to, to the crew. Yeah, she's a mess. She's a big mess.
Sure, let's get Tor on the line. Let's see if he has any insight into the situation.
Shouldn't we go see Tor? I mean, who knows if they're tapping our lines? I mean, that might not be good.
I think they might be out there too.
Oh yeah. Okay.
If we make the call, they're going to find us. If they find one of us away from here, at least they won't know where we are. We need this place for a little while before we move.
I will never give any of you up. I'll die first. Just so you know. You don't ever have to worry about me.
I think Bade stands up and starts picking up things and like trying to decide what will fit, right? What she can take and what she can't. Are we going to tell the rest of the crew?
Let's talk to Tor first. See what options we have to offer.
Yeah, okay.
Right? She looks to Bria, to Boko. You guys are both smarter than she is.
Right.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Cool. So
I'm gonna.
does
Can I add one thing?
hey,
As the camera pulls back, there's a wall or whatever. Like Yanush and Tiki Tavi, Tiki Tavi can hear us because we're yelling. Right? We're not. I'm yelling at least.
Yeah.
right?
We're not
The small space.
We're not when we tell the other members of the crew, they already know. They've just heard it. And if they haven't heard it, Yanush will make sure they've heard it. So
thanks,
Okay.
Janusz. You suck.
I know, right?
Little furry
Why do-
jerk.
Right.
cool. So do you go like one or two of you? Do you try to get there the whole group, or how do you?
Maybe it might be good for like Bria and Boko to go.
I agree. Edema definitely doesn't want to go first. If
Because yeah, Bria's pretty sneaky and I can
if someone trails back on us, I want Edema to be the one to be there because she's perfectly happy going head up on some imps.
Actually, I just realized that you don't know where Tor hangs out, but you
They
do
won't let-
have your liaison with the rebels. Where is the Zabrak? Molatebs. She's the one you had. She's the one who was with you on the Black Suns job. And,
Yep, we saved her life. I
Mhm.
was
Yeah.
thinking about making I was thinking about hitting on her, but didn't. So probably good choice that I didn't. Probably.
yeah, you've only met Tor at Lydra's place behind the laundromat,
Right.
and that's
Can I
back
just
when-
say I love that we use the laundromat? I just want to say that.
Yeah, that's it's
Space dirt on space clothes.
It's canon,
space wash your
mofos.
space. Yeah. But Mola, she I think you have direct communications with her. You can call her up on comms. She's got a secure comm that you can contact. I think that's how that's what makes sense.
you want to arrange a meeting with Tor through her.
Yeah, but we need to talk to her face to face.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you do, I mean, if you call her up, she's going to want to know what's this about. Why do you want to see Tor? Why?
We need to ask a favor.
You can ask a favor.
I'm not sure. Look, I like you. You're hardcore. you do what needs to be done. I respect that. But Tor, you're not in his good graces right now. You're making too much noise. It's dangerous.
All right.
We're desperate here. We need to at least try and ask.
I can ask if he's willing to take a meeting, but have something to bargain with. I suspect he's more likely to just want to cut you loose.
We have a important piece of information that we picked up from the Black Sun job about someone coming for him.
Okay.
An assassin. A bad one.
He's after Tor.
Yep.
I think I want a sway roll here.
Let's see. Yeah, why not? Yeah, I'll push this, I think, for sure. Bria, do you want to help?
Yeah, right. Yes, yeah, I mean, yes, I will help. I'm just trying to,
Yeah.
I'm not a great helper right now.
I'm trying to draw Tor out, and if he is gonna be shitty with us, maybe we turn him in.
Survive. That's what we're gonna do. Stress of 8. Boko, geez Louise.
Yeah. I got some downtime coming up.
Yeah, help from Bria puts you at 2 dice, I think.
I think it'll be 3 with a push, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Lying to Tor.
Holy
Crit.
shit, critical.
Oh, great. Yeah.
It's why we sent you guys.
Yeah, I like goes like super dead serious at her.
Mhm.
I think I know how it goes down. I think I start describing like the assassin and like their techniques and stuff like that because I actually know it. And maybe, Boko's like, what the fuck? But like I make it real serious. Like, yeah, we know and this is what's coming to you. So
yeah, we can describe her like getting shot and getting back up and like all like we have a lot of details we can fill in and like just try and put the fear of her in.
Mm-hmm. If
Edwin got a crit and he came back up.
Yeah.
If that woman is coming after us, then we need to know everything. Yeah, I'll set something up. I'll let you know it might take a day or so, but I'll set something up.
All right, just tell us the time and place and we'll be there.
Yeah, I'll let you know. And she signs off.
Cool. Yeah, I outlined the plan to Bria explicitly.
I think this is when which one of you do you think would get a call from Freeze Mob? He used to be with the Thousand Knives, now he's with Zori.
Probably Bria.
I mean, if he's connected to Zori, then he's connected to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, so you're getting a call from Freeze Mob on your personal account.
Oh, okay. I assume this is not a holographic thing. I keep thinking of the telephone in Star or Ace telephone in Star Wars. I'm like, are they all holographic? Like, yeah, speak.
Yeah, Zori, I think Zori wants me to tell you this. There was a a very scary person came around to Zoris. You know, she gets supply like indirectly from Black Sun.
Yeah,
I told you that before, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is someone from Black Sun. She was there with some goons, some scary goons, and they think Zori had to they pushed her for information about you. They wanted to know. She told them that she doesn't know where you are and that you've only had a very casual relationship, but I think they're watching her.
Okay. I would find other place to be for a while if I were you.
Yeah, I might get back with a 1,000 knives for a bit. I heard Shikai fought off some street sex squad, so that's probably a safer place to be right now.
I owe you. Thank you.
Just being friendly. I mean, those carking Black Sun, there's some scary people. Just take care. And I never told you this. Just to be clear, you understand that, right?
Yes, I am a professional.
Yes, I know. Sorry, but I'm a bit on edge. Stay safe.
Okay. So I turned to Boko and I'm like, they found Zori. They know that Zori's connected to me or to us.
Who found the street sec found? Sorry.
Friedman was describing the assassin, I thought, right?
Possibly.
All right.
He didn't go into details, so you can't be sure, but it's not impossible.
Yeah. All right. It wasn't street sec. There was only one person. It was a woman. I think we can guess what woman that is, but who knows at this point?
Ooh, that's bad.
Killed a lot of. It's just getting.
That's really bad. I was just pretending. I didn't mean to. Wow. Maxa doesn't know where we are, or Zori doesn't know where we are, so that's good.
Yeah,
Everything else is bad.
She knows a lot.
Yeah. How much is a lot?
Trying to decide if Zori knows if Bria has a son. Oh, well, she does. I think she knows that there's family, right? Like she would have brought that up, right? So the assassin doesn't necessarily know what family, but now they're looking for family members. And so that's what I tell Boko, like, she knows, she knew I have family. You know this. So
Here.
Yeah, here.
Can they not be here? Can they get out of here for a while?
That may have to happen, yes. Or we take the problem head on and we find her and we take care of her. We are brutal professionals. This is what we are built for. Anish, I'm proposing a job of kill the assassin.
Yeah, let me add something to. I just put a note on the.
I wonder if there's a way to
tab.
take care of both of these at the same time. If we like actually point the assassin at Tor and tip off StreetSec and just have them fight it out.
It's you and him fight.
Yeah.
When Bucko says that, Bria steps in real close and she's like, "This would have to be you and me. No one else can know that we're doing this. There are too many loose lips and emotions,
Hmm.
but this keeps us alive."
I'm in favor of that.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
So I assume that's just Boko and Bria talking, and
Yeah.
and Efton and Bade are somewhere else.
So what I imagined, actually, I didn't get to bring it up, was we wanted to call, but we didn't want to do it from our place.
Yeah.
So we went to Lydra's and asked for a private time, like with their communications equipment, just, bought a half hour, because I'm sure that they got more secure lines than us, right? And so that gives us a chance to conspire as well. Lydra might have bugs, I don't know, in the room, probably does, but I think our conspiracy is there, and then our time is up and we have to leave, and so we start heading back, kind of.
Cool.
To
If you want to go to Lydra, then I would like
yeah,
check
consort.
roll action.
That would definitely be consort. Yeah.
No, prowl
yes.
to get there unnoticed.
Oh, prowl. Oh, okay. I thought you need me to convince Lydra to let us.
No.
Okay.
This is getting to Lydra.
Okay.
So is
prowl.
that Boko and Bria?
Do we want to do this as a group thing?
Yeah. I'll lead it.
Okay, yeah, probably for
Yeah,
best.
that seems wise.
But we both had 2 in prowl, so
Yeah. Let's see.
Yeah, absolutely, Rich. We'll make this roll and then we'll come back.
Four.
so no stress, but nothing higher than a 4 or 5.
Nope.
Yeah, so no stress, but and I think you're in a controlled position for this.
I mean, a tick,
probably
a
not.
tick of the assassin clock would make sense, right?
I think I think you're in a risky position. Let me see. You do it with a consequence. Yeah, I think, let me check. Oh, actually, what happens is, because you don't know this, but StreetSec is watching Lydra's place.
Makes
So
sense.
I'm going to put a check on the StreetSec clock as a consequence. You can resist it.
I think the story's boiling up. I'll let that sit there. Also, I'm already at really high stress, so.
Yeah, you get to Lydra's place and you knock on the back door, the employees only entrance. And as you may recall, there's a droid there, and now I just need to
Talk with the droid.
Yeah, but something happened. With the voice mod is acting up. Now it seems to be working. Let me. I'm sorry, Lydra does not accept visitors at this time. Please
Well,
vacate the
that's-
premises.
Yeah. I think she takes a knife to it. Like I can't think of as a player any other way to get in. So I guess we didn't borrow. I guess we kind of stole some private time, which makes this even worse. Like we're burning. Are you guys okay with me burning this bridge? Because that's what I think my character would do, but I'm not going to do it if you guys don't want me to.
Cool. So I think we'll cut when you like pull the knife, and we'll cut to Etma and Bade.
I think Edema would not want to have this conversation in front of anyone but Bade, but maybe she says, "Hey, Bade, I want to check on something down here. Come with me."
Yeah. I think Bade is carrying a pack, right?
Yeah, ready to go at any time. You're like a Minuteman. Yeah, I'm into it.
Yeah.
And we like drop down the hash down to that next level, hoping that nobody else knows. And Edema uses her cyber eye and just kind of checks back and forth. Then she pulls out this little metal case that she had engraved, and when she opens it up on the inside, it has like an engraving of Bria's name and an Arbish, and pulls out a death stick and hands one to Bade and does one for herself and flicks it. Says, "I've been thinking, this is not good. It's not good at all." And you heard what Bria said, right? About her kid?
I did. It didn't. I don't know much about it because I don't know much about my family. What about your family? Are they from around here?
I think so.
Okay.
I
didn't mean to pry. I mean, I
No.
understand if you want to keep that to yourself.
No. I don't normally talk about it, but like, I was sold. My family couldn't take care of all their kids, and Poodoo, I don't know. That's what they told me. I don't even know. Maybe I was stolen away. Doesn't matter much now. Like Street Sec, they don't really care who did it. What all the stuff we did. They don't really care. They just want it to stop. And they want to send someone up to the cubes for it. That's it. That's all they care about.
Yeah. I've seen that before with the gray mice. Yeah. I'm lucky because I aged out and they didn't throw me under the bus, but I've seen that definitely where they're like, "Hey, you go on this mission," and it's a retirement mission where you get blamed for everything, and the gray mice scutter off. Yeah.
Hey, just so we're clear, Edema, like stamps against the tunnel wall, like stamps out a bit of her, and she flicks it off to where she could reuse the death stick later, slides it back into the pack, and then she pulls out like a little packet of some spice and snuffs a little bit of it. I'm not talking about you, babe. Like, nobody's gonna buy it. Most of the stuff we've done, you weren't around for it. So that's not the conversation that we're having. We're not having that conversation, babe.
And
Okay.
I think Bade's eyes get real big and she's like, "I didn't think about that. Last in, last out, right? First out, right? Uh-oh."
And despite herself, Edema like reaches up, and it's with her left hand, which she's never removed her glove, but she like reaches up to Bade's cheek, and it's like affectionate. It's like, "Oh, you sweet child." And she just smiles and says, "Bree's got a kid. Boko would never survive. Nobody else has been around long enough. I think there's only like one choice that makes any sense,
Are you saying goodbye? Are you going to turn yourself in?
It's not a bad idea, is it?
It's a really bad idea. I thought you were better than that. I mean, there's no win if you turn yourself in.
It's not for me, but it's not about me.
Oh, come on. Surely we can run from this, right? Get your stuff and we can run. It'll be fine. You can run fast enough, right?
I can run pretty fast.
I think there's got to be a better option than you turning yourself in. I mean,
Well,
wow. Yeah, just wow. That shouldn't.
well, you'll come out okay. I can wait to find out what Tor said. Maybe there is another way, but if it comes down to it, I think it's an option. I've been in worse situations than the cubes. Trust me. I've let a lot of my friends get hurt. And this time, maybe I could do something about it before that happens.
Well, are you trying to do that, or are you trying to do penance for the things that you've done? I've seen people before, you know, whose conscience gets the better of them, and they do what they think is right, but it's not. It doesn't do anybody any good.
I don't know. Maybe I should think about this with a clear head, but okay.
Yeah, we never talked about this. You don't do anything rash, Edema. I mean, that isn't a proper end for the Edema story, right? You don't want to be hurt on the streets as going down and being caught. Tell you what, if it's you and me, and we're getting stuck in a fight, we'll go down fighting.
I mean, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty good to me. Yeah. And I think Adam at that point will snort some more spice and try to get really, really high. Because maybe she is just telling, maybe she listened, maybe she's telling Bade what she wanted to hear. Maybe Edma's not even sure herself. That was good, though. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much.
Yeah, great scene. Do you want to do vice downtime activity when you get high, or was it just flavor?
I think I'm at 4 stress.
Yes.
So yeah, let's do it.
Risky?
Let's do it.
It's
I mean,
actually pretty risky. You'll be rolling 4 dice. If you roll a 5 or a 6, you'll overindulge.
Wow. I mean, look, the rules. I can't remember all the options that I have if I overindulge.
It'll be 3. I think it's 3 dice, right? That's his lowest. It's 4. He has 4.
Oh, yeah. Right. It's the lowest. So it's 3 dice. Yeah. Still pretty risky, but not as risky.
Track trouble. Oh God. Brag, add heat, tapped, vice prevail, cuss me off, lost.
Wow.
Oh God, that sounds scary.
Zori might just be cut off automatically. Like this might actually be part of it.
Yeah, I think in this case it would be like you empty your stash and you can't get any new from Zori because she's in the situation she is.
Yeah, if I choose that, right?
Yeah,
It's my choice.
Exactly.
That does follow with the stories. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to pick any of the others, that's fine too. Yeah, if it happens.
Right.
And if you do want to indulge your vice, you don't have to.
This sounds fun. I really think she wants to get super high.
So does Bade join in this? Or
Come on.
Yeah.
You're right.
So
We're gonna
Bade
stick
isn't
around.
going to leave you alone. So Bade probably will. This isn't one of her vices, though.
I think you can join someone else in indulging their vice.
I think
At least that's how I like to play it.
Okay.
I think it's more fun.
Yeah.
But if you don't want to use that as one of your, well, so that's the part that I'm confused on. If someone else indulges and you kind of babysit them, then you're not doing a downtime action. But if you indulge in the vice too, are you using up a downtime action, or do you kind of get okay? Cool.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
It's the purely mechanical thing is, are you reducing your stress? And that
And if
determines
you do that,
whether you're using an activity.
that pulls the trigger on it. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That helps a lot. Here comes my 3 indulgent spice vice. 2, 1, and 2. Wow, I did not get much out of this at all.
Nope. That was a terrible roll.
it's just not right without Bria.
I can't. I'm not enjoying it. It sucks.
Okay, so I'm going to roll, and I only get 1 die. Is that right?
Yeah, because your lowest attribute is 1.
It's 1. So let me roll that. Oh, no, that didn't work. Got 1.
Wow.
This was a bad supply, I think. This
Bad
has been cut
spice.
too many times.
In this case, I think what happened was, this is the beginner hit, right? So this is just a little bit. So, as a starter kind of thing, because I've never done this before. And I think in that case, Etima probably split 1 dose between the 2 of us.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I took it easy, and I don't want to lose my head. I don't want you to have a bad trip. So yeah, we took it easy. I took it easy on you. I didn't tell you that, but of course that's what I did.
Yeah.
Cool. We've gone past the hour. Do we want to take a quick bio break, maybe just a couple of minutes?
Sounds good.
Yeah. So Bade and Etima had a very serious discussion, and Bria was about to stab a robot.
Now, wasn't this to get into Lydra's place? Like, I thought we already did the whole Lydra thing, right? Did you want me to just do some rolls to see how it turns out, or?
I don't know. But yeah, what happened was you went to the laundromat. You wanted to get in to see Lydra. The droid there said, no, you can't come in. You wanted to stab the droid.
Well, yeah, but
and you can stab the droid. That's not an issue.
Sure, but all this is taking place before the call that we just had with our contact, right? Like, this is timeline.
Oh, no, you could talk to her without issue, I think.
So what my imagination was is that we didn't have a secure line, so we went to Lydra's to borrow the line, and then
sorry, confusion on my part. Yeah. Let's go with that. Because we made all the rolls and everything. Yeah, absolutely.
And so I was just burning the bridge, since you you put me up to it. So.
Yeah, cool. So I think you actually, if it's enough for you, you can just, if you threaten the droid, it will back off. It's not a guard. It's a guard, but it's not there to protect anything with violence. It's just a watch right, droid.
Then I make it known that he has to back off, or she has to back off.
Yeah, the droid backs off. You get into the back room where Lydra usually hangs out. It's empty. Lydra isn't there, but the comms, her comms equipment is there. You can definitely use it. Use that. Have the conversation with Molotevs. Cool. Yeah. So I think actually let's do it this way. She asked you to wait a few minutes and then she'll call you back. She'll talk to Tor immediately and then she'll return your call. And I think she will return with trying to figure out sensible place to meet. I think she gives you coordinates way out in the gardens. And the gardens is where the food is grown. But since there's no sunlight, these are like eel farms and mushroom farms and that sort of thing. Mostly fed by the waste processing that's done in the stench, which is yeah, about what it sounds like. So she gives you a place way out in the gardens. Be there in 4 hours.
Can we record that call surreptitiously when she makes it?
Ooh. I think you need to make some sort of tinker roll to do it cleanly and without it being noticed.
Cool. I think what.
Or if you have some other action you think would apply.
Yeah, tinker would probably be the best. Yeah, sure. Let's do that. Do you have a devil's bargain for me?
There's a copy of the recording left on the comms equipment, Lydra's comms equipment.
Excellent.
So someone else could get their hands on it.
Fantastic. I'll take that.
Did you want help from me?
Sure, if you'd like. If you have some
Okay.
tinker help.
Yeah, that'll take me to 6, and so if I do a downtime, it guarantees I won't.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Let's record that call.
And I think you're in
Oh,
risky position.
well, yeah, that's a 3.
That's a 3. Things go badly. Suffer armor
Yikes.
complication, lose this opportunity, or your position becomes desperate. I think she notices that there's a recorder on the call, and she breaks it off. You
Okay.
can resist that, but either way, you're not going to get the recording.
So Boko can't take any stress unless he wants to trauma out.
Yeah. And that'll just take me out of this scene, right?
Yeah. So it's not a huge deal since we're in downtime.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So what's the consequence? It's that she
notices that someone is recording, and
Mhm.
she breaks off the call, so you don't get the coordinates.
Yeah, I'll resist that. Am I resisting with insight?
Your choice, but yeah, that makes the most sense.
Yeah,
Insight could work.
good thing. I have 4 dice in that now.
Oh, are you doing the? I thought we had a crew thing with extra resistance.
Yeah. You
Oh,
have
yeah.
to resist. Yeah.
5 dice. See if I can get over 3 with this.
What's the worst that can happen?
Yikes. Okay, there's a 5. I take 1 stress.
Yep.
And that traumas me out.
Yeah, so you clear all your stress, you take trauma, so now you can get some more XP, or have an easier time getting XP. That's good. But you're, yeah, you don't get the recording. What is
Okay.
it about this that pushes you over the edge?
I think it. Ooh. I feel like paranoid is the right direction to go. So the thing I'm resisting is she notices. So probably what happens is that like I see that the like the recording processor mechanism is too noticeable, and I have to like just like stop it before she starts talking, before the call even turns on. And I think that'll kick me into paranoid.
Yeah.
Like I just got to be way more careful now.
Yeah, I think since we had the devil's bargain we did, what happens is that there's only the local recording,
Okay.
which you don't notice. You don't
Right.
notice that you turn off your recorder, but you don't notice that it's still being recorded on the comms console.
Cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Like full conversation on it.
Yeah. So she gives you coordinates way out in the gardens. 4 hours, be there, and you can talk to Thor.
Cool. So we've got to somehow convince StreetSec to go out there as well without recording.
If that's the way you want to go with it, then that's what you'll have to do.
Yeah, thoughts?
It doesn't have to be now, right? Like we could make this meeting and then, convince Tor to help us out,
different. Yeah.
and then let them know, like talk to them, set up the deal, and give them the info then. But either is fine by me. I think it makes more sense fictionally, though. We haven't even had a conversation with StreetSec yet. So,
right.
What are the terms of this deal? I think that needs to be like worked out. So, yeah. I think, especially now that, so after you got done with the call, then's when I got the call from about Zori Bliss. So now we have even more information. So, hopefully that will get us closer to Tor.
Yeah.
And then we can take the next step. That's what I think we should do.
Cool. After that.
Cool. Kai, I don't remember if we established how much your Aunt Roslyn knows about your criminal activities. Does she know anything? Does she know you're doing something shady, or what's the situation there?
I think she's just made it very clear that no matter what I do, or it needs to not wash up at her feet. I think that's the agreement that we've had. Like she's like, I'm not going to ask you questions, but don't involve me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think as you're leaving Lydras, you're getting a call on your personal comms from Roslyn, from your aunt.
My phone's blowing up.
Bria?
Annie?
Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
I just had a very unpleasant visit from some CorSec officers, some detectives. They were asking questions about you.
And what did you say?
I said I had no idea what they were talking about. They showed me, they didn't ask for you by name, but they showed me a picture. They said that someone who looked like this had been seen at my store.
So I want to walk off and try to be alone. But if Boko listens in, that I mean, he's really good at that kind of thing. That I wouldn't begrudge Mark that. I don't have all the words right now, but I would like to convince her that there's just one last job, and after that, I'm getting married, and you don't have to worry about this ever again. So,
yeah, sounds like a sway to me.
Okay. 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 Oh boy. Do I have any other dice? I do not. Does our crew have any other dice?
I'm trying to think of a good devil's bargain. But if someone has a suggestion, in case you want one.
I would like to have more than one die to roll. It would make me happy.
What if she wants to move the timetable of the wedding up? You have to agree to that.
So whether or not she's convinced that this is one last job, the wedding has to happen. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think that seems like a fair, getting me the thing I want, which is resolving that, and a devil's bargain that is terrible.
Sounds good to me.
Okay. All right.
So what time frame are we talking about? Like
you know, whenever Street Sec is going to nab Tor, that's when it has to happen.
Sorry, I wasn't there for the Street Sec meeting. I was getting married.
I mean,
well,
that's
if
what
you're,
I think that's what the story makes the most sense of happening.
I mean, if you're sending Street Sec off the tour right now, then it's in 4 hours. I think that's a bit short notice for a marriage, but
Yeah, no, I think we're gonna buddy up with Tor for a little bit, and then
Yeah.
and then drop on him. Okay. So guys, please believe me. No. Oh no.
that did not work.
No, it didn't. Oh God. Which makes sense. Which makes total sense. Why would she believe that? Oh my God.
Yeah. So
Wait, the one more job didn't work?
she does not believe you, and there's some sort of consequence. I think this would make sense as a risky situation. Think if you
I know what I might not what if I just maybe maybe the cops never left. Maybe they're making her make the phone call.
Oh God. You just said one more job.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so bad. I love it.
I think I kind of feel like that means she's intentionally trapping you. Like
No, I think this is kind of like a you know it'd be a shame if your shop all of a sudden like had something happen to it kind of thing, or you know, maybe a literal blaster to the head kind of situation. I don't know. I was thinking that she was being
Yeah.
forced to.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. But I feel then she would have at least tried to warn you in some way. But maybe they were tapping her comms.
Mm.
So they were listening in, and now they know that she knows you.
Oh, I see what you're saying. They're not there, but they're virtually there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Sure.
yeah.
Yeah. They sliced in.
They rattled
Yeah.
her cage, and
Mhm.
she
Waited
did
for her to do
exactly
the
what
thing.
they expected.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally
You
with it.
can resist that, of course.
No, I think that's perfect for the story. I will take that.
Cool. So she sounds very disappointed.
Oh God.
I
Oh God.
I know I know you have this need for revenge or whatever it is you think you're doing, but it has to stop. You have to take your responsibility to the family and settle down. You can't keep on going like this, and until you stop with this, whatever it is you're doing.
My responsibility
going
to the family, to my dead family. My responsibility is to let them live. Are you?
Your responsibility is to live. If they die, they are already dead. If you die as well, then nothing will mean anything. If you want to honor them, you should live on, and you can't do that the way you're behaving now. You're going to die. They'll kill you.
I can't believe you. I just can't believe you. I thought you'd understand. I really thought you'd understand.
And I thought you valued your son's future more than your dead family's past.
I think there's a slight crack in whatever equipment I'm using to talk to her with. So I'm going to use my son's name. So if this ends up meaning that the cops show up at my apartment, that makes sense to me. And I'll say the same thing I said earlier, you know, like, don't bring Valsy into this. But obviously she's bringing Valsy into this. Listen, let's start the wedding, okay? You may not believe me, but there is only one last job.
You're right. I don't believe you until I see proof that you've left this thing behind you. There will be no wedding. There will be nothing.
Okay. Okay. I gotta go. I'm gonna hang up before she says goodbye.
Yeah.
The Hollywood hang up, because the people in Hollywood, no one ever says goodbye in Hollywood.
Yeah. And waste precious minutes on people behaving like normal people. I think I would like to start a clock here. And here, Kai, I want to check this with you, but I think at this point, Roslyn is going to start plotting to take your son, basically. She thinks he isn't safe with you.
That makes perfect sense. That makes perfect sense.
Where's the lie?
right? 2 ticks. I mean,
It's a 40. It's a clock, so it's a 40 clock. But I mean, she knows where you live. I assume.
well, yeah, but like my face, my face as a terrorist is on the TV right now. Like,
Yeah.
like I would just assume that there's a consequence that she's going to go get my son right now, right?
No,
Like,
I think she needs to make some preparations.
Okay,
She needs
okay.
to make sure that everything's safe and that sort of thing. That's
I got it. Oh, this is delicious. I love it.
Sure, I got the name right.
Why role players won't allow themselves to have relatives in games, I don't understand. I'm a lone wolf, no friends, no family.
Yeah, but then you'd miss out on that amazing scene right there. That was
Right? Oh, geez.
Yeah, we have a little bit of time left. I'm happy going a bit long since we spent so much time talking beforehand, but I think I'd like to get a couple more downtime activities down if someone has something. So for Etman Bade, got high to not much avail. And that's the only things we've done.
Steven, you got something for beta? I think you should do something. You've been quiet for a while.
Yeah, I mean, as far as downtime activity, there's a couple that I'd love to do. It's hard to get my healing clock done. Oh, but you went and saw Morn, right? And Morn's kind of a physiker, is that right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Getting the healing clock, you just need 2 ticks, so it's pretty easy to get far enough that it will turn over.
Hopefully, yeah. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Morn, and I'm like, you've heard about what's going on, right?
Yeah. You're in serious trouble.
I think we're all in serious trouble. You've been, if I'm not mistaken, you've been communing with that artifact thing, right? What does it tell you?
It's not really a verbal thing. It's but it's restless.
Are we going to get out of this okay? Does it tell you that?
It hasn't told me anything about the future.
Oh, okay. I need to, well, I think we all need to be ready to run. So I gather your stuff up and put it all in a pack. I kind of shake my like messenger bag and it kind of jingles a little bit. And where I do that, I think, you can see kind of a bandage on my side, where I was, it's from burns and stuff from the explosion in the last couple of sessions. And I think at that point I'll be like, can you do anything about this?
Yeah, let me see. If you're going on the run, you should be properly patched up.
Yeah.
Who put this on? Did you go to Sawtooth?
Yeah, I mean, he's the only one I know about. Are you
Yeah.
better?
I sure hope so.
And Morn is 2d6. Is that what was done before?
Yeah.
Let me roll that and see how good it is.
Oh, so mechanically more isn't better, but
Okay. So I rolled a 6 and a 1.
ooh,
What does
that's
that do?
3 ticks.
3 ticks.
So all your injuries get 1 step better.
Yeah.
So you lose your boot to the face, and the other ones move down 1. Yeah, and you have 1 tick on your next cycle.
And I think after Morn is done, I'm like, oh, I don't know what's going to happen here with the gang. I mean, We can't all split up. I mean, they can't get all of us. I mean, you're gonna stick around, aren't you, Morin?
I'm not part of this life anymore. I'm perfectly happy to patch you up, and if I get another chance to look at the artifact, I won't say no, but I'm on a different path.
Are you leaving? You're gone? I won't say anything. It's okay.
Not yet, but I may go on a pilgrimage.
Well, you should get ready. Because this feels like something's coming down. Thanks, Morn.
Take care. Be careful. So I assume you were going to visit Morn to do this?
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. On your way back, you suddenly notice someone's walking beside you, and it's not.
Oh, I checked.
You're right.
Whenever I notice it's not, I flip my messenger bag over to the, to the other side and started kind of making sure it's got about the right weight. Because, yeah, I want to make sure he didn't take anything.
Hey, no need to be scared. It's just me.
Yeah, I know. What's up, Snot?
No need to be rude. I just Tilda asked me to send word that she got grabbed by street sec. They couldn't pin anything on her, of course. She's slippery, but for some reason she wanted me to warn you that they're looking for you, and yeah, it's probably nothing.
Yeah, you wouldn't do anything nice for me. What's the real story, Snot?
You're accusing me of lying? She just Tella wanted me to check up on you. I meant just make sure you were okay. It's and seems you are. You've been patched up, right? And he like pokes at your bandages.
Yeah, and I think I still have like a big black eye and everything. And I'm like, I'm doing great. I've got a new family now, and I don't need you or any of the other gray mice to, help me out. If you'd really cared about me, you wouldn't have kicked me out like you did. So Telda, you can tell Telda that I'm doing great on my own.
Sure. If you don't want any more help, then that's fine. No skin off my nose.
What kind of help are you offering?
I'm just warning you. I'm telling you what Telda wanted me to tell you, that she got picked up. You didn't tell anything, but they're looking for you.
Do you think the gray mice will let me use some of their territory to sneak around in and make sure that I don't get caught? Do they care about me that much? Snot?
Oh, now you want our help suddenly.
I thought you were offering, Snot. If you're not, then you should get out. You should just leave. But if you're here to help.
I mean, sure. If you do us a favor down the line, I'm sure Telda will be fine with it, just as long as you don't draw any of those stormies down on us.
What if I bring friends?
You know how it is. It's if you start bringing anyone in, it's your responsibility. It's on you.
Yeah. Well, you can tell her, you can tell Telda, thanks, and I appreciate the heads up, and we'll see what comes out of this. Maybe I'll take her up on the offer and we can see about how we can help each other. I appreciate you coming by, Snot.
Of course. I mean, just because you graduated doesn't mean you're still not part of the family, right?
Right. Right. Got it.
Yeah, see ya.
And I
He
think that
scooped off.
as he goes to scoot off, I think I reach out and I grab his hand, and I think he's got like just a little bit of coin or something like that he's stolen off of me. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'll let you keep that. Thanks for the warning, Snot.
Nice. Yeah, cool. Does anyone have a final scene that I could do? Rich, do you want to do something more? Mark?
I think it's not a scene as much as just a tag where we see Edema pacing back and forth in front of one of the street sec offices. Like hood pulled in, just like, is she working up the gumption to go in and turn herself in? But we end the session with her not having gone in yet.
Cool. Yeah, let's do XP so we don't forget, and then we'll do stars and wishes. So I will start with the crew. You did not do an operation. Did you contend with challenges above your current station? I think you did. Rich,
You're on
you're
mute,
muted.
It was coming at us. We had to contend with it. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think it's 1 or 2 for that?
I think it was all about it this session. Was
Yeah.
contending with.
Yeah,
2
cool.
seems right.
Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? Your reputations are professional, brutal, and loyal.
Mm.
There was a specific situation, Bria, where you mentioned, Kai, we're brutal professionals.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did.
Yeah.
I literally did that because of our reputations. Yeah.
Yeah, the loyalty, not so much.
I'm loyal to the
Yeah.
concept that we're brutal and professional.
Yeah. I agree that you brought it up, but I don't think like talking with it with the crew is really bolstering it. So
It hasn't happened yet. I think that's on that.
Yeah.
That might happen in the future. I agree.
yeah. Did you express goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? Like you did.
Yeah.
To me, I'd say that the big thing, the essential nature of the crew there is Bria and Boko saying, we can't do this with the rest of them. We have to not let them know. Yeah.
Yeah, that and Bade and Emma's discussion, definitely. And I
Yeah.
think yeah. So I think with everything, you hit that one twice as well. So that's 4, which means you roll over to another advance and still have 1. You have already taken the old schematics from before. So
But do these even matter? They're all going to be taken away. Sorry, I'm just being a goofball now.
You could take a contact
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Oh yeah.
as we're trying to
off.
get out of, hey, can we?
We're about to
Make a
burn
connection.
one. Let's have a backup.
Tomas a medic, that could be my fine tuner as well as maybe our new,
Mm.
a new medic for us. But I actually had an
since
idea.
somebody's going, yeah.
Yeah. But I also actually had an idea about that. I was looking through the NPCs, and on row 76, our our very first job was to kill Mara Tybor, and his husband suffered because of that.
Mhm.
And maybe like he had like Imperial medical training, but like the Imperial the Empire didn't care about him. Once his husband was dead.
That is
So now-
harsh.
So now he's just doing what he can with the knowledge that he has. I thought that would be a fun little wrap around.
That's evil.
I like that
Love
callback.
it. I love it.
Yeah. Another option would be the Corsair officer. That could be the person that we turn
Yeah.
people into.
That's
Yeah,
interesting.
hi Curling.
Hi.
Hi, girl.
So did you want to take him like as a cohort or as a contact? Because contacts aren't really something you need to spend advances on, I
Oh, okay.
think.
Okay. They have check marks. They look like you can buy them.
Yeah.
What about the person that you just placed this call to in the Rebels tour?
Well, the person that connected us to Tor, right? We
Yeah.
didn't talk to Tor directly.
Right.
I think we're about to burn all those bridges.
Yeah.
I mean, you could pick something like if you want to take something that you'll definitely not lose, you could go for some of the quality things like quality weapons or quality gear or that sort of thing.
Or two
Or the
steps towards
training.
2 steps towards hardened, which would give us all an extra trauma box, or not the stress box, or towards mastery, which allows us to get level 4 skills. We could bank it for the future. Yeah. So any of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Does someone want to make a decision or make a concrete yes or no?
I like moving towards mastery. That sounds fun.
Moving towards
But
mastery
I'm open.
sounds.
Yeah.
Moving towards mastery sounds okay to me too, because I've got skirmish right at 3.
Yeah.
I do want to point out that we also there's the shadows special ability. Everyone steals. Everyone adds a +1 action rating to prowl,
Ooh.
finesse, or tinker. Just that's a thing that doesn't hurt, but we can take that whenever. Moving towards
Oh,
master
nice.
would benefit me, but I'm also open to everything we've talked about. I'm not super worried.
From my perspective, I think it'd be good to have a tick towards mastery because people are starting to top out.
Yeah.
And wanting to move up is something that's a good motivation. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of the things we talked about for what we want to do is explore the system. So tick towards
Cool.
mastery.
Cool.
I have to do 4 of them?
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah, but you get 2
Oh, okay.
because it's one special ability or 2 ticks on other things.
Mhm.
So you're halfway there. Cool. So individual XP, I'll start with Bade because you were closest to the crew. Did you address a challenge with theft or innocence?
I think maybe that is, well, I'm not sure. Theft, I didn't steal anything. Innocence, I did, work towards keeping the crew together and trying to talk Etema out of, turning herself in.
That's true.
Yeah.
Even though you had a Benny out of it, which is, I can get out scot-free.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that should count.
Okay.
Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
Only during the same discussion that I had with Etema. I think that, the background of the Gray Mice and we stick together and, this is our family now and that kind of stuff. But I think that's the same discussion that we just talked about with Innocence. So I think it's the same thing.
Yeah, but with
not.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, I think that should count. Because you had the Gray Mice thing there as
Mhm.
well. So I think that should definitely count. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I don't think so. I think I took spice, but it didn't cause any issues. Not yet.
Yeah,
Not
So-
yet.
yeah. So I think that's just 2 then.
2 is good. Yep.
Oh, Bria, did you address the challenge with stealth or evasion?
I snuck us to Lydra's.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I think that should count. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
To everyone in every scene, I think I did.
Yeah, that was kind of your big thing this session.
Yeah.
So yeah, true that. Struggle with issues from your vice or trauma.
Well, my son is my vice for obligation. So I think I suffered from that pretty bad.
Yeah, I think so
Mhm.
too.
And your obsession definitely played into that as well.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, like I want to kill these guys. Cool. All right, that's 5. Thank you.
Yeah. Boko, did you address a challenge with tracking or violence?
I don't think I did.
You didn't have to
No.
track anybody, no.
No, I didn't have to track anyone this time. No shooting.
You knew where everyone was. You needed to find. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
I think so. Just by like the getting the idea to turn in Tor for us. Like, I think that kind of ties into the like falling out with the cops and into the criminals, and like no one is like anyone in our crew is family and untouchable, but anyone outside is completely expendable.
I think in addition, saying, okay, Bria and I, we have to do this thing. We can't let everyone else in, brings in your background as well.
How about that?
Yeah, and your beliefs. So yeah, I think you hit that one twice.
Okay.
Did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I got a trauma. That was a struggle.
I'm not sure that.
Oh, come on. You got a trauma. That's pretty
I don't
rough.
think that counts.
He didn't struggle with his issues of paranoia after
No, not
he
yet.
became paranoid. That's where I draw the line.
Yeah, and I didn't hit any vice.
Yeah, so that's 2 for.
That's 2.
And finally, if I do the scrolling, Etema, did you address the challenge with violence or coercion?
Nope.
I don't think you did. Did you express your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
I mean, yeah, I feel like her beliefs and drives, especially around like, oh, well, we've got to do. I mean, Adam didn't have many scenes, so there was basically the scene with Bade and the scene with the crew. So I feel like I hit at least once there with the self-sacrifice and the whole bodyguard thing. Like, I'll take it on me.
Yeah, I think you. Yeah, that should be at least 1. Not sure if it's more. I mean, you kind of you had your background as well, your family background or lack of family background. Depending on
Yeah,
how
it definitely came up pretty strongly.
Yeah, I think that's true.
As well as your connection to Bria, and Bria's connection to her son. I think there's a whole familial connection there that.
Yeah.
Aunt Edema. God, worst aunt. Hashtag worst aunt.
Hashtag worst aunt.
So 2 for that. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or trauma?
I don't know if I'm going to turn myself in as reckless or not. And that's really about the only thing that she did that would dance close to her trauma.
I think going so far as to pace around outside the Corsac station, I think that's reckless.
Okay.
So 3 total.
Hey, last thing, did Edema take her second downtime? Did everybody get through both their downtimes?
No. Beta's
Okay.
done 2 downtime. Etama's done 1. I think that's everything I noted. At least.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't do any.
Okay. So we're just going to continue in downtime at the start of next session.
Yeah, we'll
We're not gonna miss it.
continue with downtime next time.
Cool. I just didn't want to miss out.
Yeah, cool. I think the plan for next session will be continue with downtime, decide what kind of job you want to do, and I think that's going to play into your whole war situation. And to be clear, I'm not going to tick any clocks for next session because we're still in the same period. But unless there's something specific that happens, there are some ongoing actions that may affect something, but it will be probably minor things. Cool. Stars and wishes. Let's start with Rich.
Cool. And we're recording, or you want to stop recording?
Yeah. Oh, right. I should bring up the wish I had noted that we haven't handled from previously is scenes with Tiri and Baxa. We didn't really have opportunities for that now, but I still have it on the list. But yeah, we can record it unless someone wants to take it off. If everyone's fine with recording,
it's just we've always done it that way. So
yeah, and that's just been me wanting everyone to feel like they can speak completely freely, and it's not going to be shared with everyone.
It's our process. We can go ahead and stop recording here.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay. Cool.